heads, each with their own personalities. They can use all three of their brains to devise complex tactics and strategies, and now they've joined the races at the Eos Island Battle Arenas to be the very best and leave the competition in the dust. Welcome to the Pokemon Unite Character Spotlight featuring Dodrio, the triple bird Pokemon.
Hello everybody, Jake your resident content cowboy here, yeehaw, as I'm going to talk about my favorite Pokemon inside Pokemon Unite, the one and only Dodrio. Dodrio is a hit-and-run speedster who specializes in diving in and out of fights while dealing massive damage. Her unmatched speed makes her nigh uncatchable as she roams all across the Sky Ruins to fight and run down her enemies. Dodrio requires expert trainers with a need for speed who can deftly utilize her unique scoring and targeting mechanics while keeping her on the move to make the most out of her passive. It's a lot to keep track of, so let's begin at the starting line.
Ready, go!
Doduo and Dodrio's passive Runaway has two parts. When near enemy Pokemon, this Pokemon gains a small boost to their movement speed. Additionally, this Pokemon becomes increasingly faster the longer they're in motion, up to a cap indicated by the sprint gauge below the health bar. Slowing down or stopping entirely depletes the sprint gauge rapidly, so be sure to watch your speed and keep it high. When scoring, Doduo divides up the Eos points evenly between their two heads if possible, and takes turns scoring one after the other. After all, 2 goals are better than 1. Similarly, Dodrio will divide up the points 3 ways before taking turns to score. After all, 3 goals are better than 2. However, for the purposes of scoring items like Attack Weight or Eos Cookie, Doduo and Dodrio must score all their points for the items to grant their stat boosts. Doduo's basic attack becomes boosted every 3rd attack, dealing additional damage. This Pokemon gains a stronger boosted basic attack when they reach and maintain their max speed. Performing a basing attack in this state will have Doduo charge forward in the direction they are facing, dealing damage to enemies in the way, and reduce ability cooldowns if this attack hits an enemy. Sprint boosted basic attacks can also traverse over small walls and other obstacles. Note that unlike normal basic attacks, Doduo and Dodrio's sprint boosted basic attacks will not automatically turn to attack enemies. Doduo's first basic ability is Peck. Doduo stops and jabs her beaks forward, dealing damage to enemies hit. If the sprint gauge is full, Doduo dashes forward in the direction she is facing, dealing bonus damage and consuming the gauge. Note that a sprint boosted Peck can traverse small walls and other obstacles. Doduo's second basic ability is Quick Attack. Doduo dashes forward and gains increased movement speed for a short duration and deals damage to those in the way. If Quick Attack hits an enemy Pokemon, the move's cooldown is slightly reduced. Like Peck, this ability can traverse small walls and other obstacles. Once Doduo levels up to 5, they evolve into Dodrio, forgetting Peck to learn either Tri-Attack or Drill Peck. If Dodrio puts her heads together to learn Tri-Attack, she swings her 3 heads together in a cone, damaging enemies and randomly applying one of 3 effects: Burn, Freeze, or Paralysis. If Dodrio's sprint gauge is full, Tri-Attack instead shoots out 3 ranged projectiles in a designated direction, with only the first projectile that hits a target applying a stronger Burn, Freeze, or Paralysis depending on its type and color. Burn decreases an opponent's attack stat and deals damage over time, and Freeze decreases an opponent's movement speed, while Paralysis decreases an opponent's attack speed and movement speed, albeit to a lesser degree than Freeze. After this move is used, Dodrio's next basic attack is empowered, dealing additional damage and healing Dodrio for a portion of her max health. Dodrio can hold 2 charges of Tri-Attack to use one after the other. When the move upgrades at level 11, the basic attack following this move heals even more health than before. Additionally, sprint boosted basic attacks will reduce Tri-Attack's cooldown if it hits an opponent.
You'll almost always want to use the sprint boosted version of Tri-Attack for the additional damage and range, unless you need a quick burst of damage to finish off a low HP opponent. Why attack once when you can do it 3 times? Tri-Attack is the only move in her arsenal, not including her Unite move, that allows her to aim independent of her movement. This gives Dodrio some flexibility in her positioning and allows her to keep some distance while dealing damage. Though the debuff effects are random, you have a pretty good chance of slowing your opponents with this move, making it a decent option for chasing and escaping. Tri-Attack is often used to soften enemies up for you and your allies from the outskirts of battle before charging in with your sprint, boosted basic attack, or other abilities to finish them off.
If you're feeling peckish, Dodrio can instead learn Drill Peck. Dodrio drives her sharp beaks forward, dealing damage with each of her 3 heads. If the move is used while going full speed, Drill Peck shoves enemies forward, consuming the gauge, and rapidly deals damage to enemies based on the percentage of their max health while moderately reducing incoming damage during the dash. When the move upgrades at level...
And welcome on in, Pokemon Unite trainers. We are back, Underdunk number 45. Some familiar faces, but we also have some new faces. So welcome to the channel. Right below Husky and I, we have Bridjet and TheSneakySeal joining us for the first time on Underdunk. So excited to have you both, along with my co-star over on that side. I always mess it. Why am I so bad at that? This way, this way. She's one way. Husky Star TTV.
Mirrored, I think. So
yeah, the mirror is kind of wild. Well, welcome on in. We'll kind of go around the room. We got some trainers that are getting locked and loaded. We're gonna see 5 bozos and Micro and Cheese first. But before we get started, Bridjet, welcome on into the channel. Welcome to Underdunk. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great. I'm very excited to cast my very first Underdunk. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna see what happens.
I'm super excited to have you, and another familiar face, maybe new to the channel, but welcome on in, Sneaky. How's it going, my friend?
It's going good. I'm intimidated by my lack of plushies, so you'll slowly see some. Whenever I have a break, I'll add some to my background.
Good.
Excellent. And then certainly not a unfamiliar face, Husky. How are you today, my friend?
Hey, I'm good. Ready to lock in. Excited to get started, see some teams. I laughed because you were like, we're gonna see 5 bozos, and if you didn't know that was the name of a team, then it's like, yeah.
You really said it.
I did. It's the team name, I promise. That's what they registered.
Anyone who's playing Pokemon Unite on purpose is probably a bozo, so fair enough.
Described my solo queue teammates, because I'm never the problem, but we already have a game, so we're going to go ahead and get into draft. Bridjet and Sneaky are going to take you in on the action, and Husky and I will get to you a little bit later. So, Bridjet, go ahead and take us away.
I would love to. Wow, Sneaky, our very first cast.
Wow, my goodness.
We were born for this.
We're in draft. We're in ban. They banned Umbreon.
See, you're natural. You're natural.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of Umbreon and Psyduck bans today, though.
Yeah, Umbreon permanently good. They never really seem to like to nerf the Eevees very much, especially Umbreon. It's literally never been bad. Never been bad. I like the Mimikyu and the Miraidon bans as well as the Psyduck still. Also getting nerfed actually pretty significantly, but I was interested to see if anyone would play it or allow it to go through, but it seems like it's still a threat.
Mm-hmm. Our casting buddies did mention that Blissey would probably see a lot of play today. Not surprised that the team that banned Umbreon is picking up the Blissey first pick.
Yeah, I love Blissey. It's so strong. Garchomp also early in the pick. I'm not super familiar with either of these players, so I'm not sure if Micro and Cheese are big Garchomp guys, but also something that's been nerfed, but not quite enough, because I still think Garchomp's excellent. Slowbro, obviously a great shutdown tool. Also something really good if the right side team, I went to go read the team name and it just says team name, so that's why I hesitated. They could also be possibly picking it if they want to pick a speedster themselves and they don't want to have to deal with the slowest bro.
For now, I think I'm going to call them both 5 bozos, okay? So the 5 bozos on the orange team. I think Garchomp is still probably good, just as a top lane. I know they did nerf it a bit. Picking up Pikachu and Comfy to go with the Garchomp and Silver on the right. And I think we're going to see the Venusaur player on the left has Solar Beam items. So, they could swap with a teammate. We're not really sure if that's a Solar Beam.
Armor's pick is also kind of wild to me. Double attackers, I just don't maybe think they need to be a second and third pick, but again, not familiar with these teams. Maybe that's their juice, that's their thing. I do love seeing the Blastoise. I think Blastoise is super strong right now, especially it looks like it's going to be in that true defender role, so I'm excited to see it kind of back probably in the bot path. No more top lane attacker Blastoise, please. It was not fun for me, personally. But I was right. They are going to go with the Zoroark and the Comfey for the actual team called Five Bozos, so smart of them to pick up that Slowbro early. I definitely like their comp quite a bit more, but I personally love playing Armarouge. I just don't really think I've seen it do very well in a 5-stack competitive format. So what are your thoughts, Sneaky? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, we've seen it was very strong. I know it did get nerfed a little bit recently, but the Fire Spin build just lets it survive and be incredibly tanky. I don't know if it's going to make it tanky enough to deal with this Zoroark Comfey, though. That's what we're going to see the rest of this game.
Yeah, definitely I'm worried about the bulk for Micro and Cheese, especially if this Zoroark gets going pretty early. We're also seeing a lot of gold badges on both sides, but Five Bozos seem like they got quite a few of their comfort picks, which can be a bit intimidating, but it's just beginning. Wow, Sneaky, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Yeah, I'm actually really excited to be casting today. Everyone's standing still, though, which is not good.
Not a good sign for us.
Not a good sign. All right, we're going to take a...
I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Oopsie. Okay, I was too excited.
Hey, cut that one out. Production, cut that.
Okay, yeah, delete the VOD. It seems like we did have a game crash. Game works perfectly as intended. No notes, no flaws. Great system. So we will see. I don't think we have any. The drafts didn't seem like they were affected, ? But I think just maybe loading into the game there was a crash post draft. So hopefully the remake is pretty easy to get going again.
Awesome. Yeah, I really liked the drafts from both teams. Once they actually get to load in, I'm sure we'll see level 5 Zoroark go top lane and or gank bottom lane, depending on which one they choose, and get ahead early. But we'll see if they can survive that.
Yeah, definitely. What we're looking at now is the bracket for today. So it looks like we have, I think, 13 teams in total signed up for today. I know some names we were recognizing, calling out before. Brouhaha, we expect to do pretty well. I would have to pull up the exact roster, but I know there's a bracket in the chat room if you guys want to click in and see any of these players on any of these teams, but they're definitely one of our teams to watch. And then the one we're going to be casting here shortly is Five Bozos. How could I forget? And Micro and Cheese. Probably the best names.
They're definitely up there for sure. I'm a big Goofy Goober fan myself.
I respect that.
And then, of course, you can't sleep on Don't Sleep.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was well written. No, that was good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was planned in advance.
Yeah, that was
I have
a
a few more
bit.
written down. I will, yeah, for sure. Nothing off the top of the dome today.
This is all written down. This is actually recorded.
Yeah,
definitely excited to see T3 as well. Sorry, go on.
No, even the crash was recorded. We actually had bits planned when the crash happened.
Yeah, couldn't you? They were really good. It was really seamless.
I'm trying to take a look at some of the rosters.
Yes, please. I know we really got them before, but
there's a lot of Reggies out there, kind of like IRL Reggies. IRL? No, I meant Pokemon Reggies. We have a handful. There's Reggie 161. I don't believe that's the same one as the Reggie 195, who is the LATAM player.
Yeah.
And that is also not Reggie Regis ZDB. So
Unfort. New Reggie has entered.
Yeah, on Micro Cheese there.
Yeah, on Don't Sleep, which you called out before, is Bat's team, Kirtan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that one, you actually should not be sleeping. You're correct. ML, MQL as well seem to be playing for them today, so that should be a fun one to watch. Hopefully we get to catch some of their games today as well. Honestly, we should be able to catch most of these teams, obviously pending how the chips fall as they may.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I think-
it'd be nice to see MKL and Bats later. That'd be nice.
Yeah, those are your homies.
We're loading up. Any fun items you see here on any of these guys?
Ooh, I am not seeing anything too unexpected. Yeah, Aaron Mack on the Venu definitely seems to be a Bimu build with that eject button. I don't think you ever go pedal dance without full heal. The Resonant Guard on the Blastoise. Resonant Guard, honestly, is such a good item. I feel like it's so applicable to so many different mons. I like seeing it. I think it's very strong.
The Gyarados also having that is interesting. I don't know if that is normal.
You're more of a Gyarados guy than I am. I've never touched that guy. I'm excited to see how the Gyarados does, though. I know it's not a Pokemon we see very often, but I believe it was Metallic who was playing it quite a bit during the last UCS tournament, and they obviously did very well in that tournament. So I'm excited to see it here again because I feel like there's way too many all-rounders right now to pick which ones are kind of on top. Obviously, I feel like Garchomp is a favorite by a lot of people. Lucario sees a lot of play since it's old reliable, but Gyarados doesn't seem to be the one people flock towards, so we'll see if it's able to evolve relatively quickly. That is the first challenge,
Yeah,
the first mini game in the game.
Yeah, the mini game I was about to bring up is it the 9-10? What is the number we're looking for? What's the best evolve we can get here? Because I know the casters sometimes say if he fails the 8-minute mark, he's doomed or something.
Yeah, the speed run for the evolution. Probably. I mean, if you're getting it by the 9-minute mark, you're cooking. It does not seem like our little Magikarp may get it that quickly. They understand the Comfey Gibble's a slightly more threatening lane than sweet little Magikarp, so playing it safe while Blissey zones them off quite well here, making sure that he is able to secure that farm and get that effort gauge up as most as he can before they close in.
The only thing is I would like to see the Blissey maybe go back and help secure the farm for the XP share for the levels, but I think they are okay just existing. They're actively not going near the farm for their own XP. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not.
Could be the biggest brain shot of them all. Put on the EXP share, but then don't take any of the EXP.
We're rotating up Aaron Mack on the Venusaur, though, not securing the big one, going over to Zoroark and Gibble, who is now evolved into Gabite.
Wow, tries to make a big play there by pulling out the Armor Rouge, and is pretty successful in this gank, even though they do have 4 members up here as well. I forgot about Comfey. Sorry, Comfey, you're hard to see. I didn't see you there. Able to get some of those dunks off.
I will say Pikachu somehow getting KO'd by the Magikarp, and Magikarp evolved into Gyarados. That was probably the worst possible outcome with the Zoroark there diving and the Gabite level 6. But they found a way back into this game after that top lane B's not going their way.
Yeah, getting the Gyarados online is very huge, especially for this middle bird engagement here. Gabite is going to steal all of them away, though, while Zoroark tries to keep that farm safe and is pretty successful getting the purple team away from that center farm. Honestly, so crucial to momentum going into this first Reggie fight is getting that farm in the middle. Blissey, she tried to safeguard. Love seeing the safeguard. Wasn't really expecting that, but I guess they don't really have much poke that you're going to need heals from.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up that maybe the Resonant Guard was a choice because they're running Safeguard and not eggs.
Really?
I was thinking about if there's no survivability if you're not running Blissey eggs.
Real.
So maybe they're just hoping to safeguard the Slowbro and Slowbro Surf and the Pikachu Volt Tackle potentially, if that's what the Pikachu picks here in the next moment.
Yeah, honestly, so many stuns and kind of a death volley comp coming out of 5 Buzzos. I honestly think Safeguard is so underrated. It can be really annoying if you're timing it very well. It seems like Micro and Cheese is going to be going for this top objective, but they're getting matched pretty well by 5 Bozos, who is able to KO that Armorage again. I did notice he was going Armor Cannon, so he's not really getting in there. They're definitely going for that long-range poke, but not going super well so far. Gyarados is kind of climbing in levels here. It was actually out-leveling their whole team for just a moment there, so honestly, Gyarados had a pretty successful top lane, all things considered.
Yeah, like I said, it was not going great for them, and they found a KO on that Pikachu, effectively stopping the early game snowball that Zoroark looks to do when they just pick the Pokemon. The Rotom is so close to walking in. Zoroark is finding KOs and stopping the push. 5 Bozos, not looking like Bozos right now as they stop that Rotom from going into the goal zone.
Yeah, good counterplay by 5 Bozos. It looks like they're going to try to sneak in some dunks up here, which will be pretty easy when we pop all of our ults. So, hoping they can get a pretty big, overdunk here. But man, Venu with the clutch save. Armor trying to hunt down that Pikachu. Still working on this Lucky back here. Poor Slowbro, I've been there, man. It is not a fun job to be holding that thing. So, props to you, man.
Yeah, he's, especially with Garchomp, able to rip it. They do find the KO onto the Rotom. XP's looking pretty good for the Bozos right now as they find the invade onto this Armourouge, who, you're right, did go Armor Cannon, which is, I guess, maybe the best option after they nerfed Firesman. I'm not sure on the numbers.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure either. I feel like I definitely see Fire Spin more often still, so I'm an Armor Cannon fan, but I cannot speak to it being the best play. Oh, that Blastoise ult was very tragic. Really got caught by Slowbro while Garchomp is able to rip this Regice. Looks like 5 Bozos getting some pretty good momentum. It was kind of looking like a stalemate there for a while. Blissey pops her ult, but doesn't seem like she's able to save anyone. Garchomp going in with their ult as well. They really want to break one of these goal zones.
Yeah, Blastoise ult actually back up after being canceled by the Slowbro ult. Not finding anything though. Burn Anger comes out. We flash Solar Beam backwards. I've never done that before, so it's gotta be really embarrassing on broadcast and on stream.
Yikers, yikers. I would never stick flip. My Pro Controller works perfectly. I have no Joy-Con drift.
We were
I
born
would
for
never have
this.
that problem, yeah. But I'm gonna be talking about Unite instead of playing it. Looks like Micro and Cheese is trying to secure that top objective again, at the cost of a pretty big overdunk. Quite literally one of the biggest ones you could possibly get. Oh, it so secures the Regieleki. Oh, you hate to see it. Unless you're 5 Bozos, then you're kind of gaming.
Absolute tragedy as Gyarados stopped hitting and did not want to use their secure. It might have been on cooldown, and then Zoroark comes out from the back cap and puts an ultimate right on top of the Rotom to secure it. The Rotom almost finding its way in. Blastoise did surf it away into their jungle pretty well. But
Do you know that it's a Regieleki and not a Rotom?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's very funny, but anyone who didn't play on remote is probably like, why is he calling it Rotom?
I'm so sorry.
I like it.
They're still bees to me. I can't.
I know.
I'll work on that. Regieleki is being pushed away.
They're like shaped the same.
Yeah, that's why
they do the same.
Electric.
Yeah. They're very similar kind of guys. Things are looking really good for 5 Bozos here. It looks like they're about to get another Regice, gaining even more of an XP lead than they already have with 2 level 13s in that Zoro and Garchomp now 14. That's a scary guy to try to stop. I'm trying to look at like whose ults I like more for this final fight. Slowbro ult can be very devastating. Pikachu ult can be devastating. Oh my gosh, it looks like they're trying to take this fight even earlier. Zoroark ulting already in the enemy jungle.
This
it looks like
is not
he's able to
what
get
you wanna
away.
They want to go back in for some reason. They are clip farming. Comfy ults to save them at the last second. The
That's
micro stun.
2 big ults already coming out of 5 Bozos. I mean, I know Zoro ult isn't usually the most impactful, but you really kind of needed that Comfy ult to counter the Slowbro ult. if Slowbro gets a good ult here, this could be a pretty bad team fight. Blastoise getting a pretty big ult in that choke there. Garchomp trying to find something. It looks like he's actually found the Venusaur. 2 down on the side of Micro and Cheese. Ooh.
Yeah, we saw a very interesting engage. We had some good ult usage, but we're just pretty behind on Micro and Cheese, and unfortunately, they just ulted a Blastoise and didn't really find a ton of value out of that. And they're going to go down after the Rayquaza is ripped by a level 15 Garchomp.
Yeah, I liked the vision that Micro and Cheese had there. They were able to get some really big resources out of that weird jungle fight that we just saw 5 Bozos try to take, and it did work out for them, but if these are my teammates, I'm pinging retreat, get out of the jungle, we don't have to do this, but it worked out. I do wish Micro and Cheese had maybe pulled back a little once they baited those ults out, but it's kind of hard to get away from a Zoroark who keeps just wanting to dive you and the team finally deciding to say, you know what, let's just play with the Zoro.
Yeah, we had...
It worked.
I felt like we had the... Micro Cheese had the best opportunity to get back into that game, which was the enemy Zoroark inting in your jungle at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's what I want to see, and then we used some ults before we... maybe a little carelessly, because we want to save ours, but he used some resources to get out, and we just didn't find the KO. There it is, though. Dead for 43 seconds.
Yikes. Yeah.
Or knocked out. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately... Oh, same thing. Close enough. Yeah, Zoroark definitely... I mean, they were really doing a good job of stopping Zoroark's momentum early on, but wasn't really able to keep up with all the XP that I feel like they were able to get from those bottom-up objectives, and didn't really make any pushes with the Regieleki they were able to get. So seeing all the stats here, yeah, Zoro and Garchomp definitely ran away with the game. Pika having, yeah, quite a significant contribution to this as well.
Blissey scoring all of their points is just very funny. I think that means the Gyarados didn't get to stack at all either, which is not very fun. That maybe the Rotom, or sorry, the Regieleki top, if they had secured it over the Zoroark ult, would have helped them. Maybe get those stacks going to win that final team fight.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to make a decision as a team whether you want to go into a game with more of a priority on a point lead or a level lead. And as long as you're kind of putting pressure on one of those factors, you're able to kind of see what your win con is able to be. But 5 Bozos really had quite a bit of control over the level lead and point lead that entire game. So I agree with you that I feel like Micro and Cheese maybe need to make more of an effort to get some of those Dunkaroos in.
A big fan of Dunkaroos.
Me too. I feel like I saw them in the store recently, and I was like, maybe someday I'll buy that again.
I will say, if you are a Zoroark player with a Comfy, and you see the enemy Venusaur and Armarouge go the Mage build, you're probably having a good time. He was probably super happy about that.
Definitely. Yeah, both of them having the option to just go an AoE move that pretty directly counters someone jumping on you was a choice. I don't hate poke comp, but pretty difficult to pull off with a Zoroark diving you constantly. It's not a fun time.
getting a lead and poking out a Comfy is definitely an option, but if neither of you are able to survive a hard engage from the hard engage Pokemon. Yeah, the guy. I almost said guy. I'm gonna work on my adjectives here. And not.
That's what I was gonna say.
There's more. It's not a. It's calling it. No longer is it Rotom. Okay, it's been 3 years. I think.
It's been quite a few, but I thought it was pretty funny. You just kept doing it, and I was like, does he know it's not a Rotom?
The guy who's only seen one Pokemon before, that's a Rotom. This Pokemon is just like Rotom.
They're aesthetically similar. Okay, we're going back to draft. Enough about Rotom.
Oh, they banned a guy that kind of looks like Rotom.
Wow. A first ban Zoroark, you know what? Fair enough. Honestly, if it's me though, I'm banning Comfey. Zoroark becomes quite a bit less of a threat without a Comfey. And now it's like they could kind of just do the same kind of comp if they're able to get the Comfey again. So would have preferred to see a Comfey ban there, IMO, but maybe this guy's a Zora one trick and I'm missing the plot. Other than that, going back to pretty much same old with the Mimikyu, Umbi, and Psyduck bans, but this does allow Miraidon to go through if Micro and Cheese wants to take it.
Yeah, we also have the Leafeon to pick instead of the Zoroark for the Bozos themselves.
The Bozos.
The Bozos.
Gonna be
Let's
the
see first pick.
Yeah, first pick Bliss. I love me some eggs. Even if you weren't running eggs, I do still think she's enough of an egg to still enjoy. So
yeah, I didn't bring up micro stuns on Feint Attack last game. I think Safeguard is very good into Zoroark as well. I forgot about that.
Definitely true. I really like Safeguard in any kind of like anything that can really run at you and blow you up before you can even get a heal off. And Helping Hand obviously pairs super well with it. You can kind of run away sometimes, which is nice. And speed boost can go pretty far, but 5 Bozos definitely taking advantage of the Miraidon being wide open and securing that pretty quickly, as well as that Slowbro again. I feel like we're gonna see another speedster if you're prioing Slowbro like this.
I really wanted to see
want it
the
into you.
Greedent. I wanted to see the Greedent. They hovered it for so long.
Oh,
but we're gonna get a Tree and a Gyarados, and we're gonna get a Garchomp and an Eldegoss. Very similar comp here, and we're going Urshifu.
Okay, I
don't
you
know.
think Punch Bear?
They have Flash, so they have Eject button. Sorry. And
is that
tends to be the red one?
The punching one.
Mm-hmm.
The single striking one.
Do you think the other one doesn't punch? Maybe. Do you think he just slaps?
It's kind of like how he holds his fist. It's like this one's like more wrist up. The other one's kind of like wrist down.
Like sideways.
Yeah, it's more like water because he's water. Anyway, enough about Pokemon design. We have a Scyther.
We have a Scyther.
I'm excited. I am Scyther's strongest believer. Dubsax and Spriggles might be Scyther's strongest hater. I'm purely in love with it out of spite alone of them, and because Fusion actually smurfs with it. So I like seeing Scyther. I know it's pretty difficult to pilot, getting in and out. You can definitely become a sitting duck, but they clearly seem to love this speedster-centric comp. I do like that Micro and Cheese is going for a much bulkier comp this time with the combo Urshi and Gyarados. I think the Gyarados did super well last time. I didn't really notice it making a lot of big plays like late game, but it got online really fast. It honestly held down that top lane super duper well and was able to get the one objective they were able to secure last game. So I like that we're staying consistent with that.
Yeah, I think the Gyarados evolving early last game was a miracle from RCS. I think that's not going to happen again, but we will see.
Gosh.
I think Scyther, it was like a 9-10. It was 9 o'clock. He was evolved. I think Scyther is going to have a really strong early game this game, and also not the only player I know that plays Scyther. I think Parasite, you might see later, is also a big Scyther guy.
Love that. I love that. I think it is a bit underutilized. I think its full potential obviously got pretty close with Fusion. They did great playing it in Worlds. I loved seeing it, so excited to see more of it as Gible is able to secure this KO on the Blissey, is not able to defend as well. And I mean, now we have an Eldegoss by our side. Eldegoss is so strong early. It just got buffed too. It was already so strong. Wow. And we saw Flash trying to get that KO on that Slowpoke. I like that attitude. Love an aggro eject button, but not able to get the kill, and Slowbro is actually able to come out on top with its evolution.
Yeah, 5 Bozos doing what I kind of wanted to see last game, which was pick the Gibble and walk up to the enemy and A-press the enemy also. You can tread.
You can do that.
You can hurt the Magikarp, you can kill the Blissey, and then this time with the red buff slow from Eldegoss, they were able to find that KO, giving them an advantage here as they Scyther ganks the top lane, and so does Miraidon here as well. Gonna get to level 5 for the Electro Drift, I'm guessing? Nope. I think
we're Charge Beaming.
Charge Beam. Which is fine, you already have a Scyther, you're good.
Exactly,
Just
you really
poke
don't
one out.
need that kind of dive. Yeah, the Miraidon poke is probably the best poke in the game. Maybe would have liked to see that out of Micro and Cheese last game if they were going for that kind of comp. This poor Blissey just looking for an evolution, looking for a crumb. They did what they could, and I respect it, but not what you want to see is 3 guys from the enemy jungle in your jungle. Miraidon was able to secure that red buff, it looks like. Scyther has their blue buff, and it's a little less of an equal battle as it was last time. Gyarados gaming, securing a lot of those middle birds. I know they weren't able to get that final Altaria, but still a lot of really good and important XP, especially when, oh my goodness, I just looked up the XP.
Yeah, you're looking at the Chanseys, again, not walking near the early game farm, and so they're not getting any experience points when they do secure anything. So they're still level 3, I think, with 0 XP gain. Maybe they got some from that KO, but they've just now, they got 1 farm and they're level 5.
Let's go, baby. We're back. We're back. Hey, the support and the tank want to be the lowest XP member on the team. It's how XP share works. But there is a level 9 Garchomp on the side of 5 Bozos already as these Lekis are beginning to spawn. Bozos moving in. Scyther was able to get the Blissey, but gets pretty hard punished by Urshifu, who is that single strike. Dark Bear, Red Bear, Dry Bear. The bear is here.
Dry Bear. I guess he's, yeah, if one's water.
If one is wet, then you have to assume the other is dry. No?
No, I you're for sure. It's science. Or actually getting the Reggie ice.
Another ice, man.
There's a lot of water happening here. This one's cold. Finding a lot of KOs. Big Dragon Rush combo from Garchomp, though, flashing middle of the Dragon Rush to land on 2 enemy members of the Micro and Cheese. Misses the second Dragon Rush, though. Gonna go down 2 levels, probably gained by Aaron back on the Glaceon.
Micro and Cheese honestly having some really good momentum after such a rough start. They were able to get picks on that Garchomp. It didn't really get a lot done with his ult, and now Glaceon and Urshifu are both level 10 as well. So Micro and Cheese honestly playing that super duper well. I feel like that is a hard fight to play when you're already that behind so early. So big props to them, and it looks like this Aleki is gone? Is he gone? But no bases were taken all the way out.
Yeah, it's, I think it's gone, but...
He's gone.
He's gone. It'll be back soon. Returning in the next, less than a minute. It's going to be a big one, though, as the 5 Bozos have broken the top pad, and they're going to look to try to push that one in. They've got Garchomp, they've got Miraidon, they've got Scyther. They can dive those tier 2s, and find a way to get a bigger lead than they already have.
Yeah, 5 Bozos is definitely making an effort to hold this bottom goals, and it looks like as Micro and Cheese tries to go in, gets a big Blissey ult on that Urshifu, taking down Miraidon. Okay, I see you, Micro and Cheese. Trying really hard to get this point lead a little more even. Oh, Garchomp comes in with a huge combo with the ult. Scyther as well. Wasn't quite enough out of Micro and Cheese. Maybe didn't need to push too hard, but man, it's hard to resist when you're getting the Miraidon out of the game. You kind of want to keep going.
It's a good way to get some XP on with the Urshifu. The Gyarados ult does find 3, but they get return Slowbro alternate. And now Urshifu is back respawned, level 12 after those KOs. Let's see if they can do anything here. Get Dragon Rushed and KO'd with the Altarias.
Yeah, pretty back and forth. This one looks like 5 Bozos. Yep. Objective to secure as they are able to and get another one of those goals Not as low as I thought it was going to be, not going to lie to you. It's still pretty full over there on the side of Micro and Cheese. Now we have a nice little 3v3 going on here. It looks like both these teams kind of want to see if it's possible to get some more points in, especially Micro and Cheese. They are in dire need of a little more money in their pocket.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see, I think Micro and Cheese are going to try to get this Regieleki off of the map. That was the last Reggie in the bottom path of the game, though. It'll be up at 205 to 206, so there might not be enough time to KO it. They find the KO on Eldegoss here for Micro and Cheese to kind of steal the Regieleki pressure that 5 Bozos had from taking the tier 1. They let it walk, though, for a very low overcap. And finally engage onto Blissey.
Yeah, like that play from 5 Bozos just to let it in, so it's that small overcap, and you're able to get some of those side farm before this Rayquaza spawns. LD trying to save this goal zone, or at least stall until the big, strong carries get here. Not quite enough, though, as Skyther is taken out. Ooh, and our ice does go onto the Bunnelby from the Glaceon. Man, both these teams are defending these bottom goal zones with their lives, quite literally.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of points down here. Both are one's at 75, so it's going to be hard. They're both going to be playing around this at the Rayquaza spawn, their bottom side path. And I will give the Bozos the advantage here, though, because they have them right on poke. We'll see if anything can be done with it with positioning at the pit.
Yeah, it looks like the Bozos are already in position for this Rayquaza fight. I love seeing a team get this early positioning going. Micro and Cheese has pretty solid positioning as well, and I'm sure the Trev already knows that the Miraidon is nearby, seeing those Thunders proc, and it looks like Gyarados and Urshifu are kind of holding that upper side of the Ray pit. Now we just gotta see who makes the first move. Okay, so the right side team does know that they have a small lead as well.
And now we're gonna see somebody make a move, or Micro and Cheese just get poked out until they decide to force an engage. Surf is missed, and we're kind of just poking. We have eggs to heal. I'd like to see somebody attempt a back cap to get the lead, to force the other guys to make a move, but for now we're just still poking with Miraidon, who is doing a lot of damage. We might run out of eggs.
Yeah, most definitely. Miraidon is putting in a lot of work here. They have, I feel like, good vision on where most of Micro and Cheese is. It looks like that Gyarados is actually going for a back cap on the top side. Super smart play from them, but I think, no, I don't think Scyther's going to get there in time at all. I thought he was going for it, but it looks like he must have turned around. They're going for an engage. Trev comes out. Scyther trying to get the KO on the slow bro. It's like Urshifu goes down. Oh, Micro and Cheese. I think they got cooked and eaten by 5 Bozos there, owning this Ray fight, but the Gyarados, oh, I thought he might have gotten it.
Oh, I thought the auto attack got it. I thought it did. He was
so close. I'm telling you, this Gyarados has been gaming so hard. I'm very impressed with the Gyarados play. I go back to my point. Gyarados is so good. Wow, really, really great patience and decision-making by the 5 Bozos.
Very scary rip, honestly. After Trevenant hits 4 of your teammates with their ultimate, I was actually really worried that teamfight was going to go the other way. Just unable to find the KOs. I'd have to watch back. I didn't really see how Urshifu went down. Urshifu,
I think he was Slowbro ulted.
Slowbro ulted. Yeah, and unfortunately not able to stay alive.
Yeah, it was a little too much as they're trying to make a push here into this top path, but looks like 5 Bozos is going to secure these. Honestly, really, really close. I know at some points was looking a little rough for Micro and Cheese, but they were really never truly out of it at all. So super, super big shout out to them. Played super well, but Bozos are on top, unfortunately for us. I mean that in like a generic sense, not that I know these people personally.
I'm gonna be. Some people are calling me a bozo already because I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
You relate to the bozo brand.
What's our bozo fan group name? We're gonna come up with it.
I don't know. The Miraidon did over 100k though. That rules.
I was definitely gonna poke.
Yeah, he was poking like a madman. The Blissey was doing their best, and honestly was keeping the levels pretty even as well as the Eldegoss, but was not
it's really
quite
tough
enough.
because going for the back cap starts something from happening, and unfortunately the other team has a Miraidon, Garchomp, and Scyther, which is really good. Rip and Scyther secure with dual wing beat, but I mean you have Red Urshifu. I guess yeah, you probably don't want to flip because you're gonna get silver ulted. I think
Mhm.
Bozo's made the right call. It was a really close secure, but had the Gyarados gotten it, I think the only members left up were the Glaceon and the Gyarados. I'm not really sure how that game would have
Yeah.
played out had it gone the other way. They were behind, so they would have had to find a score after those KOs, which was not easy.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, with that tier 1 gold zone up, it was definitely, maybe possible to push, but the poke from the team fight just took a little too long. They were able to farm some pretty good damage off it, but yeah, that is
Yep.
our first round, Sneaky.
That was awesome. I love it.
We did it.
We're
the best.
underdunking.
Yes, I love when I underdunk. Me when I underdunk.
My face when
Yep.
Blissey takes 104,000 damage.
Exactly. Okay. on that note, I think we are gonna cut it to a break here soon, and Kyle and Husky will be hosting the next round for you guys.
I'm so excited.
He's hooded